How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So as you can tell by the title of the video, this is going to be episode 1 of a little trapping / snaring series that I'm going to put together on the channel this year. So it's early December, and for the past 4 or 5 years, every year I put out just a small trap line, and you know, not a lot of sets, and you know, I don't get a lot of catches or whatever, but I just put out a small trap line, and it keeps me busy, gets me motivated to get outside, and gets the dogs out for a run and everything. So figured I would take you guys along this year and put together a little series of my trapping and snaring that I'm going to be doing. So yeah, we'll include some footage from any catches that I get, and I'll show you guys some of the sets that I put out, and we'll probably be having some boil ups and some cook ups, and I'll try and get some drone footage and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, whenever I get enough footage, I'll put together like a 20 or 30 minute episode, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So basically today we're out, we're just going to be doing rabbit snares today. So last night I made up, I think there's 18 rabbit snares here. So the goal for today is going to be to get all those set out, and then over the course of the weekend here, which is coming up, I'm going to try and get some fox and coyote sets out, and maybe some mink and otter sets out in the salt water here in this area as well. So I'll take you guys along for all of that, and yeah, that's the plan. So I got the 3 dogs out with me today, Molly, Goose, and Millie. So you'll see them running around here going crazy, and yeah, hope you guys follow along, and we'll go on down the trail here now and get our first rabbit set of the season out. All right, well, here's the first set. This is a spot I put a snare every year, and I always manage to pick up at least a rabbit or 2 in this one. So a nice little trail goes through here. I got the stick here already from last year, so I'm just going to tie a snare on right here now, and we'll move on to the next one. All right, there we go. That's the first snare set. On to the next one. Whew. All right, here's another old set from last year. So the snare is still here, so it looks in pretty good shape. So I'm just going to reuse that snare. Just got to fix it up a little bit, and should be able to just set it right back. So conditions are not great for setting rabbit snares right now because we got some snow down, but we've been having a lot of mild weather during the daytime, and then it freezes at night. So the snow that's on the ground here is like a hard crust, and you can't see any tracks. There's no rabbit tracks because the rabbits just stay up on top of this crust and they don't leave any tracks in the snow. So yeah, my strategy is basically just going to be setting most of my snares in places where I had them set last year or previous years. So I pretty much know where the rabbit trails are without actually having to see the tracks. All right, well, here's another old set from last year. So the stick is all falling down and stuff. So I'm just going to fix this one up, and the snare is actually busted off the old snare, so I'm going to put a new snare on this one. I'm just going to fix it up here. Millie's not making it easy. She's running all over the place here, getting in my way, but I'm going to be dealing with that a lot with 3 dogs out here with me. Alright, well, here's the snare. So I just need to put some sticks right here now to keep them from jumping over and to force them through and under the stick and into the snare. I'll just use some of these spruce boughs here, kind of block this off a little bit. Here we go, that should do the trick. And I just put a little stick here for a chin lifter. This snare is a little higher off the ground than I would like it, so we'll put this little stick here to help the rabbit guide his head right into the snare when he walks through. So another good spot right here. I always pick up a couple of rabbits in this snare. So I'm gonna fix this one up. And yeah, I'm not sure what the numbers are like in this area this season. So like I said, this is my first time that I had a chance to get out and put any snares out. So I don't know what the population is like this year, and I can't even see any tracks on the snow because it's such a hard crust on the snow. So anyways, I guess we'll find out here in the next couple of days if there are any rabbits on the go or not. But yeah, we'll fix this one up now. Looks like there's a decent snare on this one from last year, so I'll reuse that one and we'll move on to the next one. Alright, so my trail goes down through this way, as you can see, and right here I can see some old rabbit tracks. They come out from here and cross the trail and go up through this way. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to set a snare on each side of the trail, so one right here somewhere, and then they come across. I'm going to set one in here. So I'm going to cut some sticks down and kind of bar this off and make like a tunnel that they have to go through on each side, here and here, and I'll set a snare on each side of the trail. Alright, so just cut a small spruce tree. I got one here to kind of close off this opening, so I'm going to tie a snare onto this tree, and then I did the same thing. Here's the main trail. So I did the same thing over on the other side of the trail. Small spruce tree that I cut down right here where I'll tie my snare on. So we got one on each side of the trail. Another thing I like to do sometimes is take my snare and pull it on the tree like this. And that kind of straightens any little small kinks out of the snare wire before you tie it on. Because this brass wire that we're using here it's not the strongest wire at the best of times, so if you get any little small kinks in the wire, the rabbit is pretty much guaranteed to bust off the wire. And you lose quite a lot of rabbits with this brass wire as it is, so you definitely don't want to have any kinks in your snare wire. Alright, here's another good spot that always produces a couple for me. So I got some fresh droppings on top of the snow, so that's a good sign. So I'm gonna reset this one now, and I'll be surprised if we don't get a rabbit here within the first few nights. So I'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, I usually pick one up here pretty much right off the bat. Alright, so I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with how to set rabbit snares. It's pretty straightforward. But just for anyone who's new or who's watching the video to learn how to set rabbit snares, basically I cut off a bunch of snares ahead of time. I find that to be much easier because then they're ready to go when you get out in the woods. So I just take a piece of wire. I'm just guessing, but I'm gonna say this is close to 24 inches long maybe. Now I do like to make mine nice and long so I don't run short if I decide to set it on like a big tree or whatever. So yeah, just cut off a piece of wire about 24 inches long, and then you just make a loop on one end like so. So you just wrap it around and make a little eye, wrap it back around itself maybe 4 or 5 times, and then you just take the free end right here, put it through your eye, close it up to the size that you want it. So I like to make mine about the size of my fist, so my fist fits through there. Something like that is pretty good. And yeah, I'll show you how I tie it onto the tree. Like I said, pretty straightforward, but I'll show you guys just in case anyone's wondering. All right, so I got my stick right here. That's gonna be used to tie my snare on with. So you can see there's an old snare on this from previous years that's busted off. So I'll probably take that off now in a minute and clean that up. Yeah, you want to get a nice strong stick, so something that's probably the diameter of your thumb at least or bigger, so the rabbit can't break it off or take off with the entire stick. Make sure it's secured good, so this is not going anywhere. And it does have a bit of give to it, which I find good as well. It makes it less likely for the rabbit to bust the snare off. So then I just take my snare. I like to keep my hand through the snare as I'm wrapping it onto the tree. Keeps it from twisting up on me. So I just take it. I usually like to go around the stick at least twice. I'll probably go 3 times on this one because I got plenty. There we go. Now you want to get this part nice and tight on the stick and wrap it around tight as you can get it. So I'll put my hand back through the snare again to keep it from twisting around on me. And go around at least half a dozen times so the rabbit can't work it free when he gets caught in there. So I went around probably about 8 times there. And then you basically just fix it up to exactly where you want it. That should be pretty good, right about there. So about 4 fingers, say 5 fingers off the ground, size of my fist, and that should be pretty good for that one. Cool. Good girl, Millie. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on. All right, we're just out on this bog here now. So we're gonna pick the trail back up over this way now in a minute. So I had a Coyote snare set here last year, but I'm not gonna set that today because I didn't bring any Coyote snares with me. But there's a nice little rabbit lead right in here. So I'm gonna set that one up, and then we'll pick the trail back up, and this eventually loops back to the road. So we'll get a few more rabbit snares now on the way back around to the road, and then without any time left towards the end of the day, I'll probably put out a couple of a couple of bucket sets for otter back when we get back out to the salt water. All right, back out on the main road now, heading back to the cabin. Alright guys, so we're out for our first check on the rabbit snares. So there's two nights have passed, and this will be the first check of the snares. So interested to see if we had any action, if we had any luck. So first snare is just up ahead here. Got the dogs out for a little run, so they'll be out with me for at least a few hours here. Maybe later today I'll bring them back to the cabin and leave them back there while I go out and scout out some areas to set some fox and coyote snares. Oh man, hard old spot we're into here. Not so bad later in the year, this all freezes up, but for now it's nothing but a mess. Well, here's our first snare, and it's not touched, so no luck in the first one. Second snare, not touched. Well, lots of fresh rabbit buttons on top of the snow here, so there's a few around. Another one not touched. Well, it's not looking good so far, guys. Got probably about half of the snares checked now, and haven't had a single one disturbed at all. So like I said, I had 2 nights on them, but I don't know if it wasn't good weather for the rabbits to run or whatever. Anyways, we'll head on down the trail and check the rest of the snares. Two more snares here, one in here, one right here. Neither one of those are touched. Haven't even seen a fresh track on the snow. So since we were in a couple of days ago, the snow has softened up quite a bit because it's been mild, and you should be able to see fresh tracks now. But I haven't even seen a track, so it's not looking good. Good girl, Millie. Come on, let's go. Good girl. Well, here's a spot where I had the coyote bait station set up last fall. So I dragged some of these old moose bones out here last fall and had some coyote snares set out all around this area here. And managed to pick up one coyote out of it last year, so that wasn't too bad. Somebody's getting sleepy. Well, just having a quick coffee here now. So I think we got about 5 or 6 rabbit snares left to check. So it's not looking good, but anyways, fingers crossed we'll still pick up a rabbit here in the last few snares. But yeah, just gonna enjoy coffee now, warm up a little bit by the fire, and then we'll get back on the trail. Alright guys, well, here's the last snare of the day. And as you can tell, there's nothing in it, not touched. So I gotta say I'm kind of surprised. I got about 20 snares out, and we had 2 nights on them and not a single rabbit. So I honestly I figured we'd pick up at least a rabbit or 2 after 2 nights, but it is what it is. So the weather hasn't been all that great the last couple of days, so maybe that has something to do with it. But this afternoon, the temperature is supposed to drop quite a bit. It's supposed to get really cold. It's going to be a real cold night tonight, so maybe that'll get the rabbits moving. So anyways, we'll be back out tomorrow to check them all again. Alright guys, so we're out for another check on the snares. Right off the bat here, goose just flushed out a grouse. But once again it flew off through the woods here, so I'm just searching for that now. Goose has gone off running, trying to track it down. I don't know if we'll find it or not because it flew away through the alder bed there, but I'm gonna go have a look for it now. But yeah, we're out for another check on the snares. It's a wet, windy all day. But anyways, I had a few hours that I could take today and come out and do another check on the snares, and back to work tomorrow. So anyways, we got the rubber gear on, and yeah, it's going to be a wet day, but I'm going to walk the snare line and see what we come up with. But for now, I'm going to try and find that grouse, spend a few minutes on that, and if we don't find it, we'll head on down the trail. Where is he, Goose? Go get him, buddy. Go get him. Getting into some tangly stuff here already, so I'm probably gonna have to give up on this one. So it's just Goose out with me today. Got the other 2 dogs left at home because I want to try and get the snares checked as quickly and efficiently as possible. All right guys, Goose found him. So I came in and he was sat by this tree here, and here's the grouse right up here. Right there. So I'm going to try and get a shot at this now before he flies away, because it looks like he's getting ready to take off. Here, Goose, let's go. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Goose, good boy, yes, good boy. So I'm gonna clean this grouse up right here, because I just saw a good spot into the woods here to put a coyote or fox snare. So yeah, I'll clean this up right here and leave these feathers around, and hopefully that'll bring around a coyote or a fox. All right, so there's a spot where I had 2 snares, one back here, nothing in it, but look what we got here. First bunny of the season. Finally, we're on the board. Yeah, nice one too. What is it, Goose? Finally got one, bud. All right, well, we're off to a better start already. Got a rabbit and a grouse, and we still got a bunch of snares left to check, so we'll keep on moving down the trail. All right, well, we're a little farther in the trail here now, and Goose just flushed another grouse, but I caught a glimpse of it, and it flew way back through the woods back that way. So I'm not going to spend much time trying to find that one. I'm going to focus on checking the rest of these snares. So the rain's coming down pretty good here now. Starting to get pretty wet. Anyways, Goose is right there. He's still looking for that grouse. So who knows, maybe he'll find it. If not, we'll keep moving down the trail. All right, well, we got something going on here. Looks like snare bust off, which is not uncommon with this brass wire. Unfortunately, lose a lot of rabbits like this. Yeah, busted the snare off right there. You can see a bunch of droppings and stuff where he was caught. So that sucks. I hate losing rabbits like this because they get caught in the snare and they struggle and they probably get injured, and then they end up busting the wire off and you lose them. So it's the worst case scenario, but that's the kind of wire we have to use here in Newfoundland. So that's all we can do. So anyways, I'll reset this now. I'll have a quick look back through the woods here, but it's unlikely that I'll find him. If he busted off the snare, he's most likely gone. Well, something came through here and pulled this one through. So it could have been anything, rabbit or a squirrel or a bird. So I'll fix that one up now. Move on to the next one. Well, we just saw another grouse. So that's the 3rd one already. We're only about halfway down the trail. So I don't know if it's the wet weather or what, but saw more grouse today than we saw in the last couple of weeks. So anyways, he flew way back through the woods once again before we got close to him. So I'll have a quick look for him now. Goose is out there searching around, see if we can track that down, but I highly doubt we'll find him in that thick spruce. Where'd he go, Goose? Go get him. Go get him. Let's go. Come on, go get him. Well, not gonna find that one. So once you lose sight of them, you fly out in these spruce trees, it can be pretty hard to track down because they camouflage so well. Most likely just in one of these trees here, but it could be right in front of me and I just can't see him. Anyways, I won't spend too much more time here. Lots of rabbits on though, on top of the snow. A lot of the snow is melting too now, and it's exposing a lot of the droppings and stuff. So had a lot of rain and mild weather since I was out for the last check, and yeah, we lost most of the snow that we had, so I'm having to adjust a lot of the snares, move them down a little bit because the snow that was underneath them before, most of it is gone now. Alright guys, so we just finished checking the rest of the snare line, and we just got the one rabbit. So I pretty much gave up on filming there at some point because I'm pretty much soaked to the bone here, and I just wanted to get the rest of the snares checked and get back. And there really wasn't much to see anyways. Like I said, we just got the one rabbit, and we got that grouse that I shot, and we had one rabbit snare busted off. but we can't count that one. So yeah, just the one rabbit. So I'm going to clean this up here now, and I'm going to save all the fur and the guts and stuff. I always do, and I'll use that for coyote bait or mink bait. Actually, I'm probably going to use this for a coyote bait, the scraps and the fur, that is. So I'm planning on setting up like a bait station for coyotes, and I'm going to put out a trail camera and try and get some trail camera footage of some coyotes. So I'll bring you guys along for that. You probably see some of that footage on the next episode. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully that'll work out. But yeah, this is pretty much going to do it for this episode, guys. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.